Hello, and welcome back to SpaceChem. Accidents happen, getting close to the end of Outpost Station. They're sending out another scout team. Marianne traced the words on her screen with a finger. Distress beacon? I asked. Yeah, heard the transmission was all garbled up, though. Another scrambled message, another warning beacon that led to nothing. I leaned over my desk, stretching my arms, and dropped my head. I had not slept since finding Hikaru in the abandoned office. There was little fuss in the cleanup operation. A tidy message was sent to all SpaceChem employees on the station. It is with great sorrow that we must inform you of the passing of Hikaru Lewis, a fine employee and diligent researcher. Hikaru claimed his own life. I deleted the message. Marianne said nothing. You think there's something out there? Marianne asked. I mumbled into my shirt sleeve and heard Marianne scoff. I felt the fuzziness of sleep, and my eyelids, heavy as oak doors, closed. A jolt knocked me from slumber. I jumped to my feet, chair flying away. Marianne darted to the window. Oh God, she cried. The intercom hissed. A laser in the research laboratory has malfunctioned. All personnel must evacuate the sector. Marianne clasped a hand over her mouth. The blue stream of the laser emerged from the laboratory sector to our right and cut across the breach, slicing into the other half of the station. Evacuate immediately! The microphone hit the desk or the floor. As pounding footsteps and frantic voices poured over the sound system, it cut to silence. Let's head to the canteen. It's safer. I placed my hand on Marianne's shoulder. She shook her head. The laser jerked upward, sparks flying as it cut into the metal and severed the supports. As the shell of the station ruptured, glass and flames burst from the windows along the inner radius. The room shook, and we stumbled to the floor. The station sectioned itself off from the offending portion, securing airlocks at either end of the laboratory sector. I pulled myself up. A semicircle piece of the station hovered, surrounded by wreckage. It had been cut in half. A man in a red jumpsuit floated next to the steel gantry. He was dead. Man, things are getting serious. SpaceChem really has some issues, huh? Alright, phosphorus and silicon and hydrogen into phosphine and silane. Okay. So we just need to split up the hydrogen. And, oh, we got 4 bonders this time. Did we last time? Yeah, we did last time. Okay. Yeah, so we need to split up the hydrogen. Oh. Well, that's a complication, I see. It's like, I thought this was going to be trivial, and then it's like, wait a minute, there's a hydrogen missing here. Okay, so we don't actually have a perfect ratio. So what do we want to do then? Well, first of all, with only 4 bonders, we're going to have to do a rotation in order to get the bonding right. So I think the way that makes sense to do that is to have... We're just going to call this central atom for now. So we have central atom connected to 2 hydrogen. It doesn't matter what central atom is. Then we rotate it once. It's like we run around, rotate it, and then... Wait, no, rotating... Yeah, no, that's fine, yeah. So we come through, rotate it, so it's not like this. Come around somehow, and then we attach a 3rd or 4th here using the same strip. So we're going to have like 3 things like this. We're going to attach hydrogen here, and then hydrogen here, and maybe here or not, depending on whether we got the phosphorus or the silicon. Does phosphorus take 4 bonds? It can. So, I mean, we could just do a cross in either case and then split one off afterwards, but it feels like that's just adding an extra step. Flip-flop. Well, these are going to be in a pseudo-random order coming in, so I don't think a flip-flop helps us here. So, phosphorus and silicon... I think this is another case of just using the sensor, especially since they both take 4 or more bonds. There's not really any way to differentiate between the 2. I mean, I guess phosphorus goes up to 5, so we could do double bonds, but I mean, that's just a headache waiting to happen. Sensor to determine what we're dealing with. Alright, well, I think I have the gist of it. So let's start... by inputting, grabbing the hydrogen, and we're going to drop it here. But we want it to debond. Well, we have an extra bonder. It's unaccounted for. So maybe we just do something like this. The problem with that is that we're dropping the thing in the wrong spot. No, I think the easiest way to do this is going to be to sync us up somehow. Let's just move that outside of the output zone. So when we are here, one, two, 1, 2. Okay. There we go. That gets us the hydrogen set up the way that I want it. So now, well, we know that we want that regardless. So at this point, let's just change to blue. If we have phosphorus is up, okay. So we'll do something like this. So if we have okay, I think I see how I can use a flip-flop here. Because every second phosphorus right. Every second phosphorus doesn't need a third. Doesn't need another hydrogen, right? We only want a 1 for every 2. From here, I think. Do I need to back this up? Okay. This and this match, so that's actually okay here. I could just back this thing up 1 tile if I wanted to be safe, but I think this is fine. So we've grabbed whatever this is. And in this case, if it's silicon, we're going to want we might not want to do it this way, actually. We might want to do something like that. Because we need to store the second one. So I'm trying to do 2 things at once, and it's messing with my thought process. Let's just focus on one. Let's just assume that we have silicon. If we have silicon, come here, we grab this again, we resync, and we get the other split. So what has to happen in between grabbing the second thing and then coming around again? And then at the end, we're just going to reset regardless, because we're not. So we don't actually want to input alpha here then. Necessarily. Okay, that's interesting. That's something else that we only want to do every second time. We do a flip-flop. Like this. Let's just make sure this is still working. So we input. Okay, well, we have a couple of issues now. Well, we can do that. That'll be fine. Flip-flop, we input. It's fine. We also needed to make sure that we had enough time for this. So we've grabbed the thing. Did we even want to grab the thing right away? I don't think so, actually, because this... What we really want to do... Oh, no, we did. Because we're assuming that we have this. So at this stage, you come in here... and bond. Rotate. It's a little bit awkward, because now that we've rotated, getting through here again is going to be... Well, again, we use a flip-flop. Okay, flip-flops turn out to be incredibly useful. We do that. Let's see, there's a sink here. So we'll put a sink here. I think that will work. Okay, we need this to be up one more so that we're not colliding. Bond. We want that going this way. Okay. Drop and out. And I think that... So we know the first one is silicon, so I think this solves it if I've looked at this right. This will solve the silicon case. Except that we need to debond this again. Think 1, 2. Think 1, 2. Okay. Now this is actually getting pretty complicated. I feel like I'm making good progress continuously, though. Again, I thought to move that up so that we don't have an issue there. We're going to rotate again for no reason. That's fine. Alright, so... And everything should be reset. I guess we're just going to watch this play out. Got a second silicon. So confirm that everything does, in fact, reset. Third one, really? Okay, here we go. So this is where things are going to get different. So we had... So what happens here now? We've gone this way. On the first pass, we actually want this to go down. So I need to reverse the direction of this flip-flop and have an arrow here. Then we're going to go through, grab, come up. You know, we could just put the bond minus here, since it looks like that's what I'm going to be doing anyway. We're going to come down, bond minus, put you over here, probably drop the thing here. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so all these bond minuses that I've been doing, the reason I avoided just putting it on the blue line in the first place was because I thought that the blue would be coming through and grabbing things. I'd want to grab here, but I'm always going to be grabbing here with red. Although... Interesting. Well, that's a potential issue. How do I know that I'm holding a red? Or how do I know that I'm holding a phosphorus here? Because I'm using the sensor up there. Well, one problem at a time, right? Come through here, grab. So I'm thinking something like this. We do Q minus here, which means that we don't need this or this. Let's just confirm that real quick. Yep. Okay. So yeah, just Q minus here. This means that on this pass, I don't think I need all these things now. I'm getting distracted and I'm going to break things by doing this. Getting distracted. No, seems to be fine. Okay. I don't need all those things. Okay. Okay, brain. Figure out what were you thinking about before you got distracted by the sinks? We have this part working, so the thing is here, we've debonded. Yeah, let's finish this train of thought here. We've debonded, so we have one molecule, one atom here. This is for phosphine. So now what we do is something like this. Put a grab drop here. I always like using grab drops where it's appropriate. So we're going to drop, and then on the second pass, we're going to grab, and we're going to be up here. So I guess it doesn't really matter which spot I drop it on. This will be reversed, but that's fine. I was thinking of dropping it here to be consistent, so instead of having, you know, one down and the second one being up for that third hydrogen. But I think I'll just do that, because that way I can restart it easily. Here we drop. This needs to fold back in. Can we just do that? Does this actually matter? We drop here, whereas here, flip-flop, we would grab it and drop here. Yeah, actually, I don't think we need that at all. I think we can just do that. And then we reset. Right, so we'll have the first phosphine, hydrogen will be here, second one it'll be here. Okay, so now we just need to fix red so that it can tell whether or not we have phosphorus or silicon. Keep checking, I should know what those are called. Alright, so there's no urgency on this anymore, so I think what we're actually going to do grab goes here. This is the silicon grab. So now we just do something like this. Phosphorus. And grab this way. So depending on which atom we've grabbed, we're going to be on a different track. And this should still be the same, so bond, flip, rotate, bond, flip, go. But, okay, so I mean, Yes, but now the problem is if we want to bond here, get both of them. It's not going to be able to tell. We have to go through either up or down through this section. It means that we're basically stuck on this pass. And yeah, we can use a flip-flop here, but because we're using the sensor here, we're just going to get onto the same track at the end. Which might be okay, actually. Well, no, because the problem then is whether we're dropping... is where we're dropping it, right? Yeah, because it would be fine, except for the fact that we want to drop somewhere else. Can that be fixed using blue instead? I could fix it so that we're always dropping here instead of here. On the second pass. That doesn't change the fact that on the first pass we're still going through like this. Okay, so if we grab this... The other thing is... the other thing that we could do... the other thing that we could do, which I think fixes this... is do a drop grab. Now when we're here, on the second pass, we can now reuse the sensor. So I don't think this is necessary at all, actually. Means I can probably move all of this over. Why would I do that? The second pass, if we're on... if we're on silicon... we go through... this rotation's kind of weird now, because now we're holding it in a different spot. We want... if we're on silicon, we just keep going through. When we hit this, we bond again, which... oh, yeah, I need to drop grab in the same spot. Now I need to do something like this. We've checked that we're here. Grab. This should should sort us out so that we're holding it in the right spot again, in the middle. And the bond goes through. That's going to collide here. Well... See, if we do that, that should fix that. I've done a lot of changes. Let's just check and double check that I haven't ruined anything. This should still work for the silicon situation, for the silane. It did not. Okay. It did not. Was it supposed to go like this? Which means that need that. Okay, so the problem here is that I want something like that. Is that right? I think... Okay, and now I need a sink. Oh, I can just do... I can just move this up. I don't think it actually matters. Pimp's last words. Yeah, okay, there we go. We avoid hitting the side of the reactor. Check. We didn't have the thing. Right, and then we just need another sink to stop blue from doing the thing that it does. So yeah, we have a sink here. The sink is to initiate the grab. So I think... we're gonna have to add another sink on the red side, but you can probably put one like here. It should be fine. Wrong. Okay. Well, a bunch of things worked. Let's see if this fixes it. Too late. Okay. Output. And then we put another sink on red here. Okay. So now it should do multiple cycles again. I think I fixed everything. But I've managed to reuse the sensor. So yeah, we should get a third one without any issues. Okay, it looks like it's working. So here now, what's going on? I'm gonna drop. And I guess what we really wanted here was a blue sink. Let's put it here. Oh yeah, we have to go through a bunch of these. So this is going to test a few things. I mean, it's gonna still break horribly, but here, I need another sink to stop this from doing anything. Okay, well, we saw this went down. Let's just put a pause here so that we can just look at it. Okay, so in this state, we're going to come down here and bond. The problem, of course, with this bond is that when we bond, we're going to be in the wrong spot. Is there a way to fix that? Yes, I can go up here, do this drop grab thing. I can have that structure here as well. So then we're going to be on the phosphorus, but then we bond, we rotate, and then we're going to output. Okay, I think I see a way to fix it. We're going to take advantage of the fact that there's a gap here. So we're going to have to make this little part a little bit more complicated, but aside from that, I think it actually fixes everything. Okay, delete. I'm going to do that. I'll grab. So now, when we get to here, oh no, we can't do that because we have this molecule coming through. Like the very start. The very start here, we grab something and move along without dropping it. Because the first pass has to be holding. And that's just because the issue there is that this and this are too close together. Is there a way to fix that? I mean, there probably is a way to fix that. What's the way to fix that? That's a better question. Well, now we're running into the issue where we're right in the corner, so we can't... Like, it might be better to grab this and put it somewhere else and then use the sensor. Just so that we have more ability to do things. Like, reusing the sensor here, like, that was a good solution. But now we can't do the same thing here. Well... what we can do... Okay, a way we can fix this. We'll drop it here. We'll drop it here. We want to grab it one higher than we dropped it. Okay, well we have space down here we're not using. So let's make use of that. So we drop it here. We want to grab it one higher than we dropped it. What am I doing? Okay. This is still an issue, but we can... Let's just mess around with a few things here. Okay. I think I might have fixed it. So what I did here was... Well, I mean, let's just play it out and see how it plays out. So it'll go down, right? So it drops it here. Grab doesn't do anything when you're already holding something. So all these grabs get ignored, and we go through. Okay, and then we do our swap. Okay. So far, this works. I guess we'll... okay. Problem is I don't even remember what problem I'm trying to fix by doing this, but we'll see. So this should just be the same still, right? Like it shouldn't... Okay, so this was different just because we don't have a sink here. I mean, obvious fix for that is just add a sink here. So that our second input is delayed. And then I guess we can put a pause, oops, pause here. Yeah, okay. So this is still going to grab and it's going to be fine. But now, okay, that's an issue too. Man, I wish I had some more space that wasn't doubling over. I think I can just put a sink. Want another sink here? Because the thing is, once we spawned this, we don't want anything in this area. I mean, really what we want is we want a sink here. So I guess I'll just put the pause in an awkward spot. Oh. Okay, we'll put it in a less awkward spot. This is going to happen twice. Okay, so now we're doing our phosphorus run. And it outputted the wrong thing, which I think means it worked. Now I just need to fix a few things. Okay, so we paused again here. So at this stage, we're waiting on another sink, so we're going to play. And let's see if this works. So we grab, flip-flop, grab. Okay, so because of the way this sets up, because we end up dropping here, we need to reverse this. I kind of wish there was a rewind. So the problem here now is that we are too high. Is that a problem? I mean, we could just put a bond here, and that would work just as well, right? Like, yeah, we're holding it in the wrong spot. But if we just put a bond here, it'll bond whatever we have connected to this. And then we can use the fact that we are on an edge. Because once we rotate this way, we're either going to have a T like this or a T like this. Depending on which side we've bonded to. Yeah, so we output the wrong thing. But here, okay, so the way that we can fix this now is by dropping and grabbing 2 ahead. Then, if we are still holding the molecule, we have phosphine. If we are no longer holding the molecule, we have silane. So then we come up here, drop output here, come back up here, grab the silane, and drop an output. Okay. I think that fixes it. So now the only issue is whether this part works and getting more sinks lined up. But we'll fix that when we get to it. Because this is the problem I'm looking at right now, so I've got a solution for it. Let's just solve this part, and then we'll replay that until we find the other issue. So at this point, we're not actually doing the drop output right away. What we're doing is here, we're dropping, and here we're grabbing. Now, let's actually slide this over one more, just to make sure that if we're on a cross, we're actually inside the output. Oh. Oh, that's really nice, actually. Okay, this is way easier. I don't even have to come back for it. I've just dropped it here. If it's silane. So now what I need to do is I just do the output here and it'll just work. Okay. Yeah, that should work. Okay, that was way simpler. Yeah, because we don't have to come back and grab this again to move it because it's already in the output zone. Okay, so I think red works now. So now it's just a matter of lining the sinks up with the blue and seeing what goes on here when we get that. So we still have our pause here. So 2 of these is 1 silane. So now let's look at what happens in this situation. Okay. Right, I didn't add the thing. It goes up as expected. Okay, so first of all, add that. Don't forget that. Also, all of these are a bit redundant at this point. Not that I guess it matters. So this bond is just to fix that. So now all I need to do is... Okay, blue, come on. So, following the red, we drop, grab, sink. In this stage, the reason blue stops is because we have an extra sink here. So that means... We don't have the extra sink, we got a collision, which is the issue. If we input here, we're going to have a collision as well. Really, we just need more space that isn't overlapping with everything else. So I think a way we can fix that is we can input down here. That lets us sink here. And it gives us a few more commands to work with here. And then on this route, we just have to grab here and then do a drop grab. And we'll be in the same spot. Now, if we don't do a drop grab here, then when we get down, we're actually going to drop here. Because let's assume that we're not doing this drop grab. We're grabbing from the left side. We come down, debond, so we've dropped something here. Continue out. We wait with the sink again. Drop, drop, restart. I feel like the sinks are still out of line somewhere, but that this almost works. Alright, so we're going to very slowly do this again. Just make sure, I got rid of the pause. We're just going to make sure everything is working properly. Yeah, because hydrogen can only have one bond, the double bond doesn't matter. Okay. From here, we go this way. Now we're waiting. I feel like this whole thing is redundant now because of the way I'm handling this, but I guess we've shuffled it this way as a result. Okay, so we were synced here. If we didn't have a sync here, see, the problem is I don't want to have, like, I might just have to make a really big loop, which I can do. But the problem is, like, I wanted blue to already be done. Alright, so if I delete this, you know what, let's just put the pause there. If I delete this, yeah, that's a problem. Well, if I want to just make this a lot longer, what we do is we just do something like this. Okay, we've got the pause. So now, we just need to shorten this, because it's going to be too long. Hopefully. Yeah. Actually, here's where we want the delay. Okay, well, this needs to be at least one tile longer. Let's see, I guess one more tile longer. Really, I could be putting the pause at the end of this thing. Okay. So I've got that delayed as much as I need. So I think if I just do the same thing here, because now I want to delay this until this gets through. So I think I do that. Need it to be reversed. Something like that. Oh, right, it's going to hit that on every single pass. Of course it is. Okay. So now we go out. Back around. I think that was enough time. Alright, does this work? Drop, output. Yes. Okay, so now the issue. Is that this sink. Why did I have this sink here? This sink. Like, this pass literally only happens in this situation. So, I mean, we can just put the sink here. Right? And then it'll clear it before... Okay, I don't think I need to pause here, because I can just do this. So if I put the sink here... It's not an issue. Still holding it so we don't output. And then we go through... again and start over, only now we have hydrogen here. Okay, so still a few problems. For one thing, we didn't... Okay, a couple of problems. Well, this one. It's one obvious fix. Let's not collide with this. Does the timing still work if I do that? Test one issue at a time. Too soon. Okay. Another way to fix that. Is to do this, I think. I think that still works. Should be fine. So no more collisions here. Okay, so the other issue then is my input alpha. Because I'm doing input alpha over here. When really, I kind of want to just do it on the red line. That'll make things easier. So do I even need it here? Because I'm not worried about syncing anymore. Yeah, if I just delete that, put this like here, does this mess anything up? It shouldn't. And that's a lot easier than everything else I'm trying to do. This seems a bit silly. Well, looks like it works. Okay. So we get to our pause, testing this. So we got this. It's just a matter of getting the output correct. So it's the second phosphorus is the one that we're really interested in here. Drop. Input again. Oh, doesn't matter. Yeah, and then we're just waiting again. We did get a second phosphorus, and I'm pretty sure this... Oh no. There's... Okay, there are a couple of problems with what I've done. First of all, if that wasn't a phosphorus, if that was another silicon, that would have been a collision. Second, we are grabbing this. We need to wait a whole bunch because we need red to be done. Okay, so... Not quite finished. Not quite finished. So the first thing that immediately comes to mind is that I can stash this somewhere else where it's not going to be in the way. So if I stash it like here, for example, would be a good spot. Because red is never going to have an atom over this tile. And since, so, like, there are still a bunch of issues, but at the very least, I am... Oh, that's in the wrong color. That's what happened there. At the very least, so we've dropped here. Second pass. Oh, that's perfect, actually. Second pass, we go up and grab and drop. Okay. So that little fix that I did there improves things tremendously. So now all I need to do is on this second pass... Well, I already have a sink, right? On the other side, we sink, we wait for a bunch of stuff to happen. I guess... So I'm just going to have to take a look at this, because I have the ability to go a little bit longer if I need to. Because this sink, what is it lining up with? Well, it's lining up with the same thing that this sink is, but I don't remember offhand where that is. So we have a hydrogen here. Flop, okay. Ah, that's where it's lined up. Okay. So... Right, as soon as we release this, we release this. And then all we're doing here is we're doing a ton of delay. So, I mean, we could just do the same... We could just do the same sort of thing here then, right? Where we delete that. We have a flip-flop going this way. And then we do something like that. Is that long enough on the delay? So again, the first one's fine. Dropped. The second one, so now we're just waiting until all this nonsense is done. It's not enough of a delay. Not enough of a delay. Okay. Well, that's easy enough to fix. We just do something silly like this. Well, I say something silly like this, and then it's like, it's not actually going to work, is it? I was going to reverse this. I mean, I could actually. That would work. I just have to have every one of these reverse. Maybe? So is that going to be enough time? Answer is yes. Okay. Now we are sinking here, which is a problem. Because we're sinking here, and then we're going to do a bunch of stuff again. This is going to be a problem because it's going to go too fast. If I put another sink here and here... Yeah, I think I just add 2 more sinks for blue, and then it works, right? Oh no, that's because those sinks are on both passes. I need those 2 sinks to be here? No. Well, anyways, yeah, stuff is horrendously wrong at this point. Those 2 sinks cannot interfere with this pass. At least before the drop. I mean, can I just move this sink over? I feel like that solves some of the problems, but there's still going to be an issue. Yeah, so moving this sink over obviously doesn't affect the silicon. But now that's too early. Okay, so... Right, the reason I had the sink here instead of here is because I didn't want it interfering with this passage, just so I could keep the 2 completely separate. So all I have is a sink issue. I need to release blue. But the thing is, I got a sink here. Do I just put another sink here? That'll cause 2 sinks. If I'm off by 1 sink, I can remove this, because this is adding 2 sinks. So I have 3 sinks here now. So that's an option. Yeah, so the first one's going to be fine. First one's going to be fine. We drop. Okay, now we don't actually have a sink here. Is that okay? Yes, because we want this done first. So that's the sink that releases. I'm going to keep this at 1 times speed here. So now, of course, this whole passage might not need to be nearly as long. I'm just using a sink there. No, it still needs to be that long. The issue now, though, is that I have this extra sink. Which... Okay, so the issue there was that this sink... I want this sink at the beginning. I want this sink at the beginning. Roughly. So if I do... No, that's not the way. The way is like this. And another flip-flop here. So by adding these two flip-flops, what I've done is on the first pass, we go up, wait on that sink. It'll come down, and then it'll just ignore that entirely on the way back out. So that way I think I had one sink, but I added it at the right time. Okay. Okay, so now the issue is I need this to get through before this gets through. Blue needs to get here before red gets here. And that's just a matter of messing with the length of the messing with the length of everything. Alright, so let's try that. Trial and error. Yeah, because it's a lot of time where it's just waiting there. Okay. Almost. So if blue actually just didn't have this section at all, they would be 4 ahead, which would let them get started on the next cycle, which could potentially be an issue. Could potentially be an issue. I feel like I've made this way more complicated than it needs to be. Okay, so what was the issue there? The issue there was that we didn't have a sink at the end here, so that's not going to affect silicon. But this is going to give us an extra sink at the end of every... at the end of every phosphine. So... are we completely out of position now? I think we're okay for the first cycle. Yeah, this looks right. This is the same as before. The problem now is that we didn't want that sink here. So really the issue is that every second time through we want the sink. Well, we have a tool for that. If every second time through we want a sink here, because the first time through it's dropping and that's fine. But the second time through it's grabbing. We don't really want... If I just do something like that, does that fix it? This is a monstrosity of a reactor. That's still fine, but hasn't messed with anything yet. First time through, there's no sink. This is what we want. No sink. Okay. Second time through, sink goes. Grab the thing. Now we're sinking. We don't want to be sinking yet. We want to be sinking at the end. Okay. So that's the issue there. Problem is that we really want to sink at the very end, and I don't have room down here. Because we need to drop. I mean, I can move the start. Like, I need this kind of structure right here. Which... I mean, I already have a sink down here. I could have this sink anywhere on here. The problem is, I need it to cross. Like, I just need more space. Alternatively, could I add an extra sink to the red line somehow in a way that would make sense? I don't think I can, because red doesn't know what it's carrying. Except for this part, which is a mess. I'm still not convinced I even need it anymore. Okay, so blue... Like, what if I... Doing that doesn't make a difference, but it clears up some space. No, I can't swap these. After dropping this... Well, like, I have a sink here already. Like, if I move that sink to here... Is that all it takes? I feel like that might mess up some timing things. Okay, that's fine. This is going to be fine here. Because this line only happens when the phosphorus goes through. So we're waiting here. So this is where we could potentially have an issue. Because this needs to go at a very specific timing. So I might just have to extend this now. Okay, well, if I extend that by 2, And we know that we can just hit to pause. Okay. Extend that by 2. And it goes through. Okay, so that was fine. So far, so good. But now we have the issue having an extra sink. Right. The reason this doesn't work is because we're now doing 2 sinks on this pass. We have to be after the drop. We have to be after the drop. So no, we need to cross through here, so I can't do a flip-flop on this, because that's going to mess with things. We need this to go through and this to go through. Ah, this is so close. It's so close to working, and it just doesn't work. Like, if I had one more row down here, I'd be able to fit everything I want. This debond comes down, goes this way. We don't want to interrupt that. But this is a pass. Like, this whole thing here only happens at the first time in a phosphorus cycle. So the second time, I mean, I'm just thinking about the same thing over and over, which isn't terribly helpful. Coming down, dropped it here. Like, is there a way to use this line somehow, or to get this line different? Or if, instead of doing this, I mean, alternatively, we could just use this. Because on the second time coming through, okay, if we just... No, because we need 2 bonds. Yeah, I don't think moving this helps. Is there... Okay, the other idea I had was to do something like this, but then I need to come up here. Before I start messing with that, what exactly is happening here? Currently, these... Alright, so if I do something like this... This needs to come into here. No, I don't think I have enough. I don't think I have enough space to do that. Okay, well, I'm not having any luck with the blue line, so I think I start looking at the red line. I need to just think about something different. So with this blue line, the reason that the sink being here is an issue... Let's just play it out again. Let's just play it out really slow and watch what's happening. It's not the button I wanted. Is there a hotkey for pause? Space. Okay, that's nice. So, the issue here... I'm synced, which is fine, because we have to go and do a second loop. And on the second loop, we kind of just wait again anyway. Yeah, because this isn't the part that's the issue. It only becomes an issue fourth pass. Okay, so we go this way, and now we're synced here. We're just waiting until red gets all this nonsense done. It's a ton of time to do it, but that's fine. So we've bonded. And sync it is released. So this sync, and this sync are lined up. Where normally, this sync and this sync are lined up. But the thing is, I use this sync twice, and I only use this sync once. That's the problem. Because of the flip-flop. And that's what this sync is for. This sync is there to balance out this sync. So this sync and this sync together are the same as using this sync twice. Pause. We do all this. And that's fine. So is this an issue? This sync and this sync lining up. Because this sync is just every molecule out is going to be synced once. But the problem here is that this sync isn't actually at the end of the cycle. It is at the end of this cycle, but it's not going to be at the end of the next one. But does that matter? Because I don't think I go down there on the next one, do I? Yes, this sync matches up with this sync. And then we add an extra sync here. Just because red takes so long. And then we add a sync here to release this because we need the timing to be right. Because red takes so long. Yeah, no, this is really Problem is that I need a sink here that doesn't affect this sink. This sink's not the issue, because I can just move that sink over and that's fine. The issue is I need this pass to skip this sink on the first pass. Can I possibly add something to the red line that would do that? Where I just have an extra sink on the red end to mitigate this sink being over one on the blue end every half rotation or whatever. Well, let's see. Red always goes down this way and then does a bunch of nonsense. Red comes down, does this, does this. So these are only being touched once per cycle. So if I add a sink to one of these and add another sink here, does that fix it? Okay. What was the issue there? This was too early, right? By one? Like, we're coming through here. No. Why is this causing an issue? It's causing an issue because we're not hitting this sink again. We're not hitting this sink again on the way out. So I need... Yeah, I need another sink here. No. I need another sink on red. If we're doing that. Okay. Exit level. Okay. So I think I fixed it with regards to silicon. Okay, so now doing phosphorus. We ignore this sink, then we hit the sink. But the reason that this might work now is I've added an extra sink when we go back into this loop again. Because here's where things are going to get interesting. That's fine. So waiting on this sink here. Well, what if I move this sink to here? It doesn't cause any problem for the silicon. Okay, the reason that was an issue. Why was that an issue? That was an issue because the timing is just different. Like at this point, Do I want this going first? I don't think I do. I think I'm a sync ahead. Yeah, I'm a sync ahead. But now we catch up here, maybe. Okay, but you're going way too early again. Now I'm a sync ahead. Well... Now we release this. We are going through and we're waiting on the sync. Okay. We output the wrong molecule. Okay, well... I mean, that's... I was gonna say it's easy to fix. It's never easy to fix. I gotta just move it outside of this block. But then... because we're carrying this in the middle... Does red ever drop here? Or ever have a molecule there? Yes. Okay. Really? Why? I did that. And then we just go through and we sweep the whole top row. Okay. Is there somewhere that I can stash this that isn't in this block that also won't conflict with red? I can't even do it in this corner if I was able to fix that. I mean, we could... Okay, new solution. I don't even know if this is going to fix everything, but... oh, why is this here? Okay. Okay, we want these sinks to be at the end. Out the loop, that's fine. We can draw up here, right? Because we are up. Should work. I don't think... First of all, I don't think this messes anything up yet. Okay, good. Check that. Now we have a flip-flop going this way like that. And what we do here is we have a grab drop and an output. And this way we grab this output and then drop it, and we're not actually causing this atom will never then be outputted on red. Okay. So the issue we had last time, dropping here is fine. Grab, output, drop, continue. Okay. So now the question is, do we have the right number of sinks? And the answer is, of course, no. Okay. So we fixed that problem. But now, blue gets ahead. Because we need one more sink in here, right? That's the issue? We need one more sink in here somehow? Do this. Does that completely wreck everything? No. Oh, of course it won't, because this is just... that doesn't change anything. That actually doesn't change anything. Okay, so... No, I still have this issue. I've done a bunch of other modifying of little things. I've solved other little potential issues. Like, this is a nice solution up here. But I still have blue being one sink ahead some of the time. And that some of the time is based off of the sensor. So every time that we successfully sense this, no, because the problem is I need to actually grab the thing and drop it, and then do a sensor after dropping it. Okay, well... the other problem is that this is the same path. The fact that this isn't a cross is what's getting me now. Because if we go up... Wait, no, because if this is a cross... it's gonna matter. Is it? What's actually happening here? Like, this is fine. We get this one through. I know there's a bunch of nonsense going on here. I could use a flip-flop here to have it change from dropping pass to go one way, grabbing pass goes another, just using a flip-flop. I can easily set that up. But I don't think it would matter. So we fix that problem. And the issue there was the whole sync thing. Because of course it was. Look, we wanted bread to already be through here. Okay, well... alternative solution we can do maybe, if we have space, is do our input alpha somewhere else. And then if we see that it's phosphine, yeah, we just add extra space in here somewhere. Okay, so I think at this point we're having an issue with the spacing. I want these sinks here, which means that I just put this like here. And that way the initial sinks aren't going to be an issue. But this way I can have a little bit more space. And we can do this alpha way earlier too. Okay, so let's just start. Well, we can do something like this. So alpha is going to go. Here we sense if it's phosphorus, we go down. We need a little bit more room than this. Kind of, because we need to cut through here. We don't have a way to cut through all of this. But the idea here is that if we see a phosphorus here, okay, this is getting messy. What I was trying to do. Does this even work? Like I'm adding an extra sink on red, and then I'm going to delete a sink on blue. That's the plan. The problem is that blue needs another sink sometimes. So why am I adding it on red? Because we need the sink here. Okay, well, currently there's no problem. Haven't messed anything up yet by switching this around. I'm just looking at the same thing over and over. Like, it's been like an hour just because I need to fit this one sink in here. Man. So, on the first pass, at the end of the first pass, we're waiting here. Now I've got 3 sinks here. I want 3 sinks here. Like at the end of the first pass, everything works. We do the sink. We do this sink. This comes through. So, I mean, if I stop trying to do all the fancy stuff that I'm doing, and instead just look at this. The issue now is that we're going to hit here. But this is the second time through on this pass, right? So the second time through where I've grabbed something, maybe we just do something like that, right? This fixes one issue that I have, but it's not fixing the main issue. This will... okay. Right, so we go through first pass works. Second pass. Grab. Now we flip-flop and we wait. Through. Okay, and now we need a lot of delay. Which is doable. I'll say a lot of delay. This isn't going to be a lot of delay, but it's going to be some delay. I could even put a flip-flop here, actually. Instead of to pause. If it's not quite enough delay. Okay. So now you're doing that thing, we're doing this thing. Yeah, and you are way ahead of where you need to be. Way, way ahead. So what happens if I just put a sink here? First one goes through without a problem. Okay. Second one drops. And we're waiting on a sink. Now the problem is... this is started already. And we really don't want this to be starting yet. Because this has to go through. Flip-flop down to here, it'll bond, it'll grab the thing. It'll output just fine. Input and then sync. Okay, another idea. Well, before we do another idea, because I don't actually have another idea, let's just add another sink here. Let's also just put a pause here. There's going to be way too many sinks on blue, I think. But we're consistently not having enough sinks, so maybe this will be a better solution. Yeah, okay, so from here... obviously these are in the wrong spot. So the second sink doesn't work here. Okay, well, we can put the second sink here, though, right? No, because that's going to affect... that's going to affect both paths. That's the issue. Okay, it hasn't affected anything yet. But here is where it becomes an issue. Because now we've synced here instead of here. Wait, is this actually a problem? Did I just have an extra sink somewhere? Like, this seems to work. Like, if I don't have a sink here... In fact, if I don't do any of this, I just cut this out completely and I just go down here. We would be waiting here at this point. Okay. Where's the hitbox on those? Okay. Everything seems to be okay so far. This is our second one. So this is the furthest we've gotten. We've successfully done a second output. Wait, are we synced or are we off by one? I think we're off by one. Yeah, we are off by one here. Blue needs to be... one sync behind. This is gonna crash. Okay. If I delete one of these, it's gonna mess up. Where does it mess up? Here. Blue is still a sync behind. If I move this here... Move this here, red is going to be a sync behind now? It hasn't been an issue yet, but it'll become an issue right now. Because we sync. How did moving that cause this issue? Like, that literally should only do anything. Like, this is still the same, right? The timing might be a little bit different. No, because we don't have this down here. Okay, so if we put a blue sync down here... You just add more sinks. Okay, so that's kind of where I was expecting that to be at this point. Yeah, now we have to worry about grabbing. And this goes through. Interesting. So what happened here? This wasn't lined up anymore. The timing was off. Am I going to have to actually just stop? Because I'm just not getting this. I might have to come back to this. Okay. This is fine until there. I don't actually see what's going on anymore. Okay, so the first one is fine. So why do we have an issue here now? Well, we need this to be delayed slightly. Which means that blue is up a sink currently. We need to remove a sink on blue, which was what happened when we moved this. Put that back here. Blue is no longer up a sink. Now blue is going to be behind a sink. So at this point, yeah, that works fine. Everything is fine until this gets released too early. We're gonna go down, we're gonna bond, it'll be great. But now we need an extra sink. So is there a way we need an extra sink? What, here? We've already gotten 2 through. But this sink... Right now, this should be just going. Should have already gone through. And if it had gone through, then we'd be okay. So this sink... The problem is that this sink happens... Is it every time we go through? Wait. Is this sensor even doing anything? Hold on. We're just gonna go down. Yeah, we go down. There's no arrow. There's no red arrow in this tile. Oh yeah, so it is doing something. Here, it's gonna go through as opposed to going down. Okay, yeah. So this is only... This sink is being hit once. Is this the issue? This sink is being hit once every time you have a silicon coming through. And the second time through, it's not going to be hit. This is where I'm getting this weird off by one error. This sink right here. That's fine. Happening one time. And it's going to happen one time. But this is where it's going to be different. Because here we had an extra sink go through. Because of this. Because of the way I have this set up. Because of the way I have this set up, we're getting an extra sink, which works fine for the first cycle for some reason. So it goes through once. But now it's going to go through a second time. This begs the question. I want to try something different. Can't I just move these up? But yeah, I'm going to have to readjust a ton of things if I do that. Well, am I? If I move these up one, what's the consequence of this? Consequence of moving that up one. Obviously the bonders need to be higher. And the debonder. I'm just going to duplicate the sink for now so that we're still on the same solution that we were on before. So the thing here... Okay, we're just going to start deleting a bunch of stuff. And we're going to move this up one, because I think that's going to fix some problems. Okay, well, we're just gonna... We'll just do that for now. So that's still doing its thing. I've already moved that. Yep, so that's fine. So that means then that for this... What is this doing currently? When we flip-flop, first time, basically we're saying we want to have a sink the first time through, but not the second time through. That's the same as this. These are the two that are synced. Are they? Looks like this one is synced with this one. Okay, well... there's not really any point doing that just yet. I want to move this up so that this is going through here. Which means we want to avoid that. Does that just fix it? Okay, let's test this. And see where things go wrong, because I think I've moved things around. Now there's a ton of potential issues that are going to come from this. But by moving that up one, I've given myself more space to work with. I think the rest of this still kind of should play out the same. Okay, a little bit scary how close the molecules are getting to each other, but that's fine. Alright, so I don't think we've messed up the silicon, surprisingly, by doing all of that. Does it function for a second pass? Looks good. Looks good. Okay. Now, I don't expect this to work at all, but I'm curious to see where it's going to break, because I think trying to fix this solution will make things easier. So the first part should be mostly the same. Right, so we managed to get to the pause without anything breaking. Good. Here we go down. Okay, so our first break. Our first break is a collision here. That's because... well, that's because this is higher than it used to be. So... this drop grab is causing an issue here. If this drop grab puts us down on the bottom... puts us... drop grab puts us in the middle. Drop grab puts us on the top. If I just delete this entirely... like, I have the ability to undo if I screw something up. I think. Can undo endlessly. So let's just delete all of this and remind ourselves why we have it. Like, it's not going to make a difference for these. Okay. This is where it's potentially going to make a difference now. Okay, so again, could have just skipped to the pause. So we're going to get this thing here. Go down. And what we've accomplished by doing this. What we've accomplished by doing all of this is we've come down. We are holding it on the bottom. Now, if we want to fix that, right, the issue that we were having, and the reason we had this whole set up, was because if we want to do a drop grab, I think we're changing this part. I liked how this solution worked, but I think I'm going to have to end up changing it. We're going to drop. So let's say we do a drop here. The problem with that, and then do a grab. Drop, grab. This shuffles us down one. Now we're already holding it onto it at the bottom, so this doesn't actually work. We have to reverse it. Like that. We're dropping it and grabbing. We're now holding it in the middle. Which is fine, but that means that this solution here doesn't work anymore, which is fine. I had an alternate way of dealing with that. Now the issue is that when we're grabbing the individual atoms, we're just going to drop it. So this has to actually be a drop grab. Grab. Going to be a drop grab, grab. Right, and then I'm going to get the same issue I had before, because now if I do a flip-flop to go back around and drop grab it again, I'm now holding it at the top. And I don't want to be holding it at the top. I want to be holding it in the middle. Okay, well... Alternatively, then... Instead of doing all this nonsense... What if we put a rotate in here? That's not going to affect the first thing. But now if we're rotating... We're rotating... No, I don't think the rotate works, because I need to be able to rotate it back without, like, before we get to here. Well, do we even need to go up onto this part? Like, I know we're doing all this delay stuff. Okay, man, I I just thought of something that makes this so much easier. Oh my god. Here we're grabbing. Means that when we're here, we have a hydrogen over the sensor. If we have hydrogen, I guess we go down, and if we don't have hydrogen, we go up. And then here we just do a drop grab. Okay, and that shouldn't affect this at all. When we get to this cycle, yes, that's fine. When we get to this cycle, now we do the drop grab. In the center, and we've bonded. So now, of course, the issue is this part. So let's fix that. We made a simpler structure there, so fix that. So now to fix this part. Drop grab. So this idea, I really liked what we had before, but it's just not going to work. So in this case, this is the magic tile. If we grab something here, we have silane. If we don't grab something here, we have phosphine. Okay. It would probably be better if it was here, honestly. Gives us more... Does it? I mean... Right, so the problem, of course, now is that we're dropping in the silane zone instead of the phosphine zone, when the silane's the one that's easier to grab. So I think... what we actually do here... Okay, well, this grab is useless. So in this situation, we have grabbed silane. Okay. Drop. So if we had silane, we grabbed it and dropped it, silane is still in the target output. Now, if we haven't grabbed anything, you know what, let's just... So, silane still works fine, but let's just look at this. Yeah, I had this. This is why I was considering the rotation. So, right, so the solution for this is that. Oh. Does that matter? No, because we won't be holding anything in that stage the second time through. So this is a lot of extra rotations. This is necessary. Yeah, so that's fine. Now, we missed the top. So we're not grabbing it. So here, if this was a grab drop in this situation, we'd actually be holding the right molecule. Okay. So this solves the issue that we had before. So now I think we're back to where we were, like half an hour ago. We have a solution that... what? Okay. There we go. I think this will work. We'll just watch this one come through. Oh, no. Shoot. That doesn't work. Because if we add an extra rotate here, we've got the wrong orientation. We need 2 rotates here. If we do that, that should be fine. Grab, drop. Now we're not grabbing it because we've moved it, and we've put it. Okay. Now, dropped it. We aren't grabbing anything. Grab. We drop again. That's fine. We just have to grab here. Another grab here. Okay. So I think I fixed it. Why are we dropping there? We're dropping there because we're in the wrong orientation now. Okay, so how do we fix that? I know stuff's going to go wrong on the other side of things, but I'm just going to focus on this for now. If I move this up 1, that's a problem because of how this works. Okay, well, the easiest fix then that affects the least number of things is to put another rotate. Did I rotate it the right way? I think I did. Okay. Okay, well, I mean, we could slide all of this up, too. That would be fine. Like, I think that's functionally identical to what I had before on the blue, and also on the red. Now we grab that, output that before it becomes an issue, pull it out. Okay. We fixed a few things. And all of that was just to move these up 1 tile. So now, yeah, we might have to do some shenaniganry. Because this is in the wrong spot because we've grabbed it way too soon. Okay, well, let's just do this and see where the issue comes up. Slow the blue down. Okay. So sync is still in the wrong spot because it's going too early. Is it going too early or is it not going early enough? It needs to have already dropped. That's the issue. So I don't think I need this flip-flop at all then. That sink... I mean, I can move that sink down here. Okay, and let's just put a pause here. Okay. And this sink, I just need to have happen every second pass, right? Means I think I fixed it. I'm going to be off by one sink, but I've solved the issue. Okay, so we've got our second thing in here. Now it's going to crash. It's going to crash because you're too early. You're too early on this cycle. Yeah, because you're a sink ahead this whole time. So if you need every second time through, we need a sink, we just put a flip-flop here and do something like this. Alright. Does this work? Get an extra sink here with a second phosphine. Oh, I need an arrow down here. Because you're going to go the wrong way at the end of all of this. Well, let's, before we... I just need to do that. Shoot. I missed it. Let's try that again. Because unpausing... Okay, there we go. Unpausing remembers what you were on if you're using the spacebar. Okay, so this is the sink. This is where it waited. We do all this rotation nonsense, which is incredibly important. Alright, and with that... Does it work? Did I manage to get the sinks to line up by doing that? Okay, this is weird. No, that's fine. It's just... Oh, wait, we're on a pause. Oh, right, because we're on this again. Right, so we're doing another one of these. Okay, and now this is the real test. It's silane when we have a thing in there. Okay, got rid of the thing. And we have a collision. Okay, well, why is blue doing this? Blue should not be doing this yet. So the problem... Where do I even find out what the problem for that was? Seven. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's right there. You shouldn't be on this path. Because... Okay, so the issue, I think what the issue is now, is that I was wanting a sync every second Sillane? This is the flip-flop that's causing the issue, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's just move this out of the way, make things a little bit clearer. Right. Because this flip-flop... Well, why is this flip-flop the way that it is? It's because if we have double hydrogen here... we don't want to sync the second time around? Hold on. Wait. Why does that matter? It's going to matter here because... Okay, so the flip-flop here, I don't think is actually doing anything. I'll add it back in if it is. But I think that what we actually want here... Like, this is obviously an issue. This pause isn't early enough. Well, where do I want the pause? Okay, so we run in. Let's just put a pause somewhere else. Let's just put a pause before this. So currently we have done that. We're pausing each time we get to there. Okay. But what's actually going on here is now we're going to do the same thing again. This time, go this way. And sync. So this sync, comparable to this sync, wait, if I just add another sync, I might just have way more syncs than I need. Like a triple sync here, double sync, double sync. This is pretty bad. So now we wanted this to come through before this. Okay, so this sync... This sync wants to be later? Yeah, because this outer loop only actually matters for this. Oh, wait. That was the whole point of that. Oh, this only happens here. I think... I think I can do that. So now we're going to release. Grabbed it in time. So do we get this through in time? Answer is no. Okay, but, I mean, let's do that, right? That's fine, that's good. We're going to be through in time. Excellent. I hope I was right about the flip-flop that was causing the issue. Ooh. Okay, well, this is the first time we've gotten to that far, so let's just delete this sync and then see what happens. In fact, we can just put a pause there. We don't need this pause anymore. Let's just delete all the pauses we're not using for testing. Okay. We're back to this part where it's been fixed again. Are we grabbing that way too early? I think we are. Yeah, because we were supposed to be waiting. Okay, well, we're just going to keep deleting syncs until things work. You're waiting here on a sync. Okay, so we got one sync, that's fine. You're in the right spot. I think we're still set up properly. Maybe. Now we go through here a second time. I don't even know if I need this anymore. Oh well. Vestigial solution parts. And, okay, we have the double sync here, which only happens... Okay, so here we're going to have a collision. So, if we were sync ahead, okay. Let's try that. And I guess we're pausing here now. Grab. That sync happens. Everything seems okay-ish, so now it's just a matter of whether or not there's an errant flip-flop. Okay, so effectively we're at the starts for both of them. Effectively, we're at the starts for both of them. Syncs might be a little bit off. Let's just do a flip-flop check. Is every single flip-flop grayed out? I think so. So all flip-flops are in the currently are in the correct position. So now it's just a sync issue again. Where I think we need one more blue sync, and I see a spot I can do that. Yeah, blue is ahead 1. Pretty sure. because it was sitting here before red was sitting here. So one sink isn't enough, but that's easy to fix. Is it? Is it easy to fix? Keep going this way. That's wrong. We need to go up, because we have room up here now. Flip-flop here, going to the right. And we want sinks that don't interfere with anything else. We want 2 of them, so we'll put a sink like that. And I guess we'll put the pause here. Do I have a pause currently? I do. Let's delete it. Okay. That's 2 sinks. I think this works. This might actually work. So here we have a silicon. Okay, this is where things can get potentially messy. Yeah, okay, everything just fell apart. Darn it. So what's going on here? What's going on here is that we have 3 phosphine, and this setup assumes that we got a 4th phosphine? Does that even make any sense? What happened here? We got... Okay, so there's an issue in the first... Okay, something didn't line up right. So here, we're at start. So A is started. A doesn't matter. So we're at start, sink 1, we're on the second sink. Start, sink 1, we're on the second sink. So as of now, everything is okay. I think everything is currently okay. This is going to go through. This rotates. Yeah, so as I expected, this seems to be fine. I think it's this 4th one that causes an issue somehow. This flip-flop is triggered. So here, we go this way. We don't want to. We don't want to because there's a silicon here instead of a phosphorus. I mean, that's an easy enough fix if that's the case. A little bit. Like, we want to do 2 sinks. Do we want to do 2 sinks? Let's continue playing this a little bit longer and just see what happens here. So sink happens, it's bad. Sink happens, grab, it's really bad. So we want to skip this entirely. So 1 sink, get this in first. Then you're going to go around. We're waiting here, that's good. So we would have bonded if blue was 2 sinks ahead, is that right? I really don't like this. I really don't like this. So we have a thing here. This being here and this being here line up. So this flip-flop maybe that's the issue. This doesn't need to be a flip-flop. Maybe what we're trying to do... let's just delete that. And instead, we'll say sensor. If this is... phosphine? Do this. Add 2 sinks. If it's not phosphine, keep going. Does that make any sense? What is red even doing? Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're too far ahead, so that's not right. Alright, well, we delete this. For now. And put a pause here. If it's a phosphine, we just go down. It's fine. If it's a phosphine, we just go down and it's fine. I don't know why it would actually matter. So here obviously is an issue. This is too fast. I think the issue is whether we have a hydrogen here or not, actually. So I was actually incorrect in my initial assessment of just needing extra sinks. I have to look at this again, try to understand what's going on. So I'm adding an extra sink only on this run. Like, this sink only happens but that's countered out by this sink only happening here. Okay, so that's not the issue. Here, I want at least one more sync. So this is why I do this. Put the flip-flop in here facing this way. Now I have 2 more syncs currently. That's what I wanted. The answer is yes the first time I do it. But the second time I do it, I mean, everything still looks good. We drop there. I wonder. So if, let's say I skipped these 2 syncs, and I was coming down right now. I think it lines up properly. Okay, well, I mean, there's a fix for that, which is I don't think that's where I want it, actually. I want flip-flop up here. So the first time through, we go to the left. Come down, come around. And go back down. Yes, we've got a line here, but we're never actually going to travel that line. What's going to happen is we're going to go up, come around, sync once, twice. We wanted 2 syncs here. And then come down. So the first time around, we're doing a double sync. The second time around, we come in, and we just don't do any syncs. Somehow this makes sense. Okay, pause here. Okay, so we have... So these 2 flip-flops are the ones that check if there's something here. Okay. So now we go up. We have done 2 extra syncs. Got our molecule. Okay. Well, I guess we'll wait until you're back down. And now we're skipping this again. Don't I just want to go in there every time? Well, we're on sync 2 and sync 2, so this round should work. This round should work. Okay, and here's where it gets interesting. So now we skip that, skip that, skip that. Right, it will go in there every time. Okay, good. Maybe? After 3 hours, can I finally be done? Okay, I have a pause here, so I'm just gonna... Okay, I think it works. Okay. So yeah, if you watch the entire 3 hours, why? I'm gonna put a timestamp here, and this timestamp will be for the actual solution. So now we'll just play through everything slowly. From the start, as you can see, this is a bit of a mess. There's a bunch of parts in there. I'm not even sure if they do what they're necessary anymore. But this is how it ended up. So let's oh, interesting. It remembered the speed I was on if I hit space. Okay. Here's the solution. And there's a part of me that really wonders if this would have been faster around an hour in if I had just scrapped everything and started over. Because I literally spent an hour and a half trying to add one sink to something. Moving things around so I could fit a sink in a very particular spot. So this is a delay without using a sink. That's why I have this kind of structure here. All of these rotations are completely necessary. And we successfully done an output of 1 molecule. Excellent. This is also completely necessary. So, doing the extra loop there. So we're going to have 3 of these in a row. They're all just going to play out the same way. So we'll just speed it up, and then we'll slow down a little bit when we get to the phosphate. Phosphorus. Okay. So with phosphorus, this is going to look fairly similar. At least for the first pass, because we're still getting the 3. But blue is doing its own thing off on the side now because we need to... this is a delay with a sink. This doesn't need to be nearly this long, I guess, given that there is a sink here. In fact, I guess I'd save a couple of cycles if I shortened it. Okay, but the complicating factor is this extra hydrogen. So by doing all those rotations, we have this grab fail, so we know that we didn't have silane, we have phosphine. And then we're able to output it like that. Oh, I still have a pause in the solution. That's unfortunate. Well, I will just manually do that. So every second time, basically this flip-flop and this flip-flop are both remembering if there's a hydrogen here. I think that's right. That allows us to do some things here. Start every time I hit a pause. Wish I had noticed that earlier. Oh well, I'll keep it in the solution, I guess. This was for debugging. It's not actually important for anything. Guess I'll be up +1 symbols on my efficiency graph. Oh no. And it's going through. Now this, I don't actually know why this works the way that it does. Like, I understand this structure, but I don't know why I need it. So basically what's going on with blue up here is every second phosphorus that I get, I want 2 extra sinks. I guess I have way too many sinks in here, and I don't even know what they all do. So that's kind of the issue. Like every second cycle on blue requires 2 more sinks in order to line up with red properly. But Yeah, everything should just be working now. Speed it up. This is pretty nice, the structure here, where it where this grab is checking whether basically we have the top atom or not on the phosphine. That's how I'm able to resolve this issue without a sensor. Yeah, and this should just keep going. So I think that's enough of this. Maybe after this one. Yeah, I think I had an over-engineered solution here. Again, if I had stopped like 2 hours in and just scrapped my entire solution and started over, I think I would have been able to come up with something a lot better. Which that's often how this kind of building game goes. But I got it done. And we do have a defense. Okay. Defense mission next time. I will see you then.